OTAN, Outreach and Technical Assistance Network.
Welcome to week 3 of the Triple E course. This week we will be learning on the first E, engagement. Our objectives, what we want you to learn, include the warm-up where you'll review the last week's module. We'll ask you how you engage your students. There'll be the introduction where we go over the overview and the to-do list and define engagement. Presentation, where you will be presented with activities that promote engagement and look at questions to evaluate engagement in your own lesson. The practice includes scenarios, and you'll decide if these scenarios bring engagement. Then you'll get to the real meat of everything. You'll be able to select a sample lesson in whatever program you like, and there are multiple lessons so that you can try experiment with one and then look at another as well. And you will look at it, you will apply the rubric to see if that lesson has engagement in it. There will also be a list called the cheat sheet that gives you ideas of ways and strategies that you can add engagement to your classroom. Number 7 says application. You're going to apply the engagement activities to your own lesson plan and submit your lesson plan. Finally, the reflection includes the fun with failure, summary, and weekly evaluation. So this is your warm-up. The questions from last week: what have you learned about the Triple E framework? What SMART goal did you set? In your reflections, what have you learned about failure? In a Padlet, answer the question, how do you engage your students? If you haven't used Padlets before, you'll go to the Padlet activity week 3, select the plus sign in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, type your response. Please be sure to include your name in the post, and then select publish to post your response. In our introduction, we review the various actions in this module. Now, let's begin with our introduction and define engagement. When calculating how engaged students are in learning with a certain technology tool, we must make sure that the students are engaged in the learning goal in mindful activities without distraction. The use of the tool should cause a shift in the behavior of the students where they move from passive to active social learners who have co-use or engagement. In the presentation, we'll go over activities that promote engagement, including pairing students together to work on reading or writing, sitting down with groups of students and questioning them about what they're doing to help them see the connection between the digital tool and the learning objectives, modeling to the class not only how to use the tool, but also how to think when using the tool, and having students pair share what they're learning and how the tools help them learn. For the engagement rubric, there are 3 questions. The first one is, does the technology allow students to focus on the task of the assignment or activity with less distraction, time on task? The second one, does the technology motivate students to start the learning process? And finally, the third question, does the technology cause a shift in the behavior of the students where they move from passive to active social learners? This was important in my classroom. Very often the teaching was me to the students to me. And because I was ABE, that I thought was the right way to do it. ESL have always had pair share. They've always had turn to your neighbor and discuss. I didn't realize how valuable that was. When I included it, I saw a marked difference in the learning of my students. This is followed by the practice in which you'll read 3 scenarios. You'll then look at those 3 scenarios and evaluate them to see if they did, in fact, allow the students to focus on the task of the assignment, motivate the students to start the learning process, and move from passive to active social learners. You'll answer the questions. After analyzing the 3 scenarios, which ones included engagement? Why or why not? What improvements would you make to each scenario? How? And which scenario resonates most with your style of teaching or looks most like you? What resonated most with you in the video and why? Now we're to the central portion of the lesson. There are a variety of programs here you will see. ABE, AWD, which is Adults with Disabilities. This one is still in work, so we don't have them yet. We have CTE, ESL, HSD, high school diploma, and high school equivalency. So that in each of these, when you select your program or whatever program you're interested in, then you can pick the lesson that you want to look at. And sometimes there's more than one. If you would like to print them, there's instructions for you so that you can. As you look at that lesson, you'll be asked to evaluate it using the engagement rubric. Does this lesson have the time on task? Does this lesson have co-use? And you'll look at that and to see what you think. Then you will go back and re-see the lesson. And when you receive the lesson, you will be able to see the engagement added to it. Now, one of the things that we have in the lesson is the cheat sheet. And the cheat sheet is very valuable because it gives you a variety of strategies that you can use to add engagement or any of the other E's into your lesson. So be sure that you look at that. Now, the next thing to do is to put your own lesson in the WIPIA format with engagement activities in brackets, and you'll submit that to us. The rubric for grading it or evaluating it is the lesson plan in the WIPIA format. Did you include some kind of technology that reflects the learning objective? Did you include the EEE element and have it identified with brackets? Were the links active in your lesson plan? And finally, did you include step-by-step instructions for any teacher using your lesson plan that they would be able to follow along? Now, some teachers have a large number of lesson plans that they can go back and grab a lesson plan and start this immediately. Some other teachers don't have so many. So we add this as just a help if you want to use it. You can go to ChatGPT and you can ask them to assist you in creating a lesson plan. And at the bottom, you'll see the prompt that you can use with ChatGPT or any of them. You could use it with Copilot or Gemini or whatever. And here's the prompt. Act as an, and then you put in your program, ESL, adult education teacher, and write a detailed lesson plan for teaching, and then you put in your category of whatever your subject is. Use the WIPIA format, which includes a warm-up, introduction, presentation, practice, evaluation, and application. And this lesson should take, and then you put in the number of minutes. Now, you do not have to use this. You may have lesson plans already. Okay, posting your assignment to Padlet. Remember again how to go through it. The instructions are there. Select the plus under your program area, type your name and program area, and upload the PDF of your lesson with engagement activities added. Select publish to post your response and be sure to include your name in your post. When you come to the reflection, enjoy the fun with failure. Again, we'd love to hear from you if there's ones you'd like to share. There will be a review and to summarize the high points of the lesson. And finally, there's the evaluation, which we do so appreciate you filling out. One method of getting to your Canvas course is here, where you can click on the link and move forward, picking the module, selecting week 3. If you are having difficulties and would like to contact us, you can go to support@otan.us. Thank you very much. We are OTAN, and we are thrilled to have you here and learning about the EEE. Thank you.